The heat is on the southeast coast of North Carolina, and we are harvesting out of this greenhouse. Tomatoes are getting to the point they're fixing to fizzle out, even though we still got some tomatoes on there. But we've harvested this amount of tomatoes this afternoon. They're not completely red, but the reason I harvested them is because of the heat, and I knowing that these tomatoes here are fixing to, fizzle out anyhow. And what tomatoes is on there want to give the power or the nutrients, the energy of the plant to the tomatoes that's on there. They won't grow very much more. Basically, they're just going to start ripening up. So this is a lot of tomatoes. These are red dews, not bad sized tomatoes. These are the last of the last to a degree, except the ones that's onto the plant. You see this right here? These won't get any bigger, but you can look at the leaves and tell that they're just at the end of their cycle. And this bed right here, we've harvested everything out of it. Even though this has been watered, this was transplanted, so it's got a little bit of transplant shot. It's a pepper plant. Potatoes are still holding on. This is our second group of potatoes. And then we got potatoes planted down here. So potatoes grow better in the cooler weather. Just have some extra potatoes and put them in here. We got our sunflower seeds here drying out. The strawberry plant is still holding on, but you can tell it's showing the signs of the heat that we're having here on the southeast coast. If I hadn't cut out the leaves on these tomato plants right here, then they would have been done with. I believe, and from my growing experience, giving room in here into these plants right here at the end of the cycle, or when the heat is fixing to kick in or is kicking in, because if it don't, then disease takes it over. But the airflow is a must, and that's why I cut out all these leaves, and it created these plants to continue on living and help these other tomatoes to grow. The cucumber over here is starting to show some sign of disease. The cucumber plant has held on longer than I expected. I've got more cucumbers. I haven't got any out of the garden except one, I think. But the containers and into the raised bed in the greenhouse, I have gotten lots of cucumbers. And I've got to put up some sweet cubes this afternoon. But we can tell these cucumber plants are at it, putting a little spikes there, showing signs that they're done. Even though they're growing good over here with some blooms, that's the only reason these plants right here are still here. This is a jalapeno pepper plant. It's a fool's you, so it's not hot. Pretty tall plant. The pepper plants love the heat. The eggplant is doing pretty good, showing the signs of the sun, the rays of the sun. We planted some strawberries down here, trying to get some of them to get going, even though the heat is on. We've harvested a lot of the chard, so it won't be long. Possibility, depends on how well it does. It'll be out of here. But look what the sun is doing. Even though there's a shade cloth on this greenhouse, the rays of the sun is pretty intense. So here is two other tomato plants over here, and we've already harvested tomatoes off of these right here. But we can tell that it's time for them to leave out of the greenhouse. They're saying adios. So this is a bell pepper here. Doing pretty good. Fool's you jalapeno pepper. This is a California Wonder bell pepper. Looking good. I just transplanted this Jupiter sweet pepper here. It's like a bell pepper from the outside because I know the heat, even though the peppers love the heat. But you see what the sun is doing already? So there's another eggplant here. Marigolds love the greenhouse. And then of course we've got this sunflower up here. The vertical planters, nothing's planted into it because I know the heat is going to be on. Harvest tomatoes off of this tomato plant right here, and it looks pitiful. But this plant would not be here if I haven't took a lot of the leaves out. Now there is a hornworm on here that I have not found yet. This is fresh poop. Hornworms, tomato hornworms are hard to find. And when I came into the greenhouse, I noticed this. And this is, I said, okay, where's that worm at? And I haven't found him yet. So I have a purple light. I can come out at nighttime. It'll create insects to glow. And I'm leaving some tomatoes, these little tomatoes on here. And I'm going to see if there's any damage tomorrow because I don't see them on here. Most of the time when you have one hornworm, tomato hornworm, you usually have a lot. A good thing about taking the leaves out, it creates you to be able to see. It also creates it to where you don't have a lot of as much insects in there. You can see what's going on, even though I can't find this hornworm. And I don't know, maybe you know, I feel like he's in here because of that right there. Just haven't found him yet. So he just got in here since this morning. He's already ate that amount of leaves. This basil here is Italian, sweet Italian basil here. It's done super wonderful. Harvest, 2 big harvests so far, and it's already ready to harvest again. Just took out a tomato plant, took the tomatoes off of it, and this is the cucumber right here. But see how this is a little bit of wind damage right there from the fans. But we see the disease that's setting in. We see the little spikes right there that stay in the cucumbers. You know, it's getting out of its season. It's done. And so the greenhouse is done super wonderful. Have no complaints. Love my greenhouse. So now is the time that what I'm doing is pretty much as slowly as it got in here, it's slowly getting things out. So it's super hot here. I'm getting things out of the beds for our area, southeast coast of North Carolina. When the heat is on, it's on. The thing of it is not the temperature as much as the humidity. So we see here, these are potatoes. This right here looked good yesterday. This is what the heat has done today. And I should have wrote down the date that I planted these. These were just some extra potatoes. But you see that just lack of water just from the day. With their insects that come, this is what these sunflowers draw these type of insects, which keeps them out of the garden. So I don't mind having the insects on something like this because they're not, I don't see any damage. And as long as they're staying off of something else, I just plant the sunflowers for the beauty. The heat has shed a toll onto these flowers right here. These are zinnias. They do pretty good into the heat, but everything's demanding water at the moment. So we're getting things out, preparing to shut these beds down for a little bit. These right here, if you take them off, they'll keep on creating the plant to bloom out. Even though we just got lots of rain, everything dries very quickly in just one day. So I need to go in there and check those squashes. I did see a squash developing. It was just males, but I can also tell that the heat, I knew this squash was at the end of its cycle, but we were doing a little test to see if we Definitely combated the squash vine borers. And we have, when I see that one squash putting out its second harvest, I said, okay, we're good. But I'm going to watch the base of those plants because, plants don't live but so long. It's going to be a dynamic heat wave for us, and it's really going to take a toll on the plants. It's even taking a toll now. So my wisdom was to go ahead and start getting things out, moving things slowly out, because why wait until everything's destroyed when their season is just about up?